Bonjour and welcome to a new unboxing video. I've got something fun today because if you remember a few weeks ago I spoke about the Superpowers collection by McFarlane, saying how I found that McFarlane products were always a bit lacking in quality, and for example, I mean, I had showed you how both Batman and Superman had problems because there were holes in the middle of the cape because they actually had attached the cape inside the blister, which is ridiculous. And of course the fabric they're using here is more like a ribbon than actual fabric, but still those figures really scratch an itch for me in the nostalgia, because I love the Superpower collection when I was young in the 80s. So basically I thought that in spite of the issues that I got with them, those were really quite nice and actually not as problematic as McFarlane toys that had in the past. So I thought, well, you know, I will give it another try because they were actually nice, and then I saw that the ships were out, so I had to get the ships. So I do have two ships for you. I've got the Batwing, so Batman's ship, and I do have the Supermobile, which is kind of outrageous, but I thought it would be really fun. And when I got those, I realized that wave 2 of the figures was out, so I also got wave 2 which has Green Lantern, and we have also the Flash, and we have a third character which is not really my favorite character, which is the Batman Who Laughs, which I thought was, I mean, it's far from being one of my favorite DC characters. It's probably really near the bottom of the DC characters for me, but we're going to find out what the quality is like on those toys, and second, we're going to see if those fit in the vehicle. So the Batwing is the first one, so it's basically like the boxes in the 80s for the Superpower collection by Kenner, except of course at the time there was no Batwing. There was a Batmobile, but it was a beautiful Batmobile, but there was no Batwing. So in the front you do have the Batwing illustration, and in the back you do have the function. They say that the cockpit opens, there is a capture claw, and you can actually fold the wings. So we're going to see together how that works. And there is a plastic tray, which in a way it's a good thing because, well, it means that there's absolutely no assembly, which is always nice. But in this day and age where they tell you to save on plastic, I mean, that's a huge amount of plastic for a toy, but still, why not? So here you go. Here is the Batwing. As you can see, it's quite a compact little ship, but it's really cool. So of course you can unfold the wing or you can fold them back, depending on what you want to do, but it's better to have wings if you want to fly. And then you do have a lever here at the bottom, which is for the claw. So as you can see, there is a claw at the front, and for example, if we take Darkseid, basically the Batwing can actually catch Darkseid in its claw. So that's actually a cool little feature. It's entirely mechanical also, which is nice and very, very retro. That's exactly the kind of thing that Kenner would have put in their toys back in the 80s. And second, if you actually punch this symbol, it opens the canopy. So you do have the seat here. I'm going to show you the inside if I can. So actually it's quite nicely detailed, and we're going to see now if Batman fits, because I'm afraid that with that kind of cape it may be a bit more difficult to put in the cockpit than I would expect. So let's see how that works. Okay, so yeah, right, yay, it fits. So basically you have to put him really almost lying down, but it fits in the cockpit, so that's not too bad. That's actually a nice feature. I wish it didn't have to lie that far back, but what can you do? And yes, as I expected, the cape is getting all scrunched up. Yeah, that's probably scrunched up in the packaging. The good thing, but that's a very, very nice toy. I do like it. I think it's very, very cool. And of course, the great thing is that if you fold back the wing, you can actually put it back in its tray, and then it's easy to put it back in the box. So it's a collector-friendly box, which we always like for that kind of vehicle or play set. So that's actually, the first one is actually a good try. We are going to open now the Supermobile, which is actually much bigger, and you do have on the inside, well, the underside of the box, you do have something say that jail cell, and you do have the punching action, and then of course the opening cockpit. So we're going to see how that opens, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one needed some assembly, because it's a very flat box for a big vehicle. Yes, that's what I expected. We do have a bit of of assembly to make. So there is a lot less plastic in there. Let's see if there is something that I'm forgetting at the bottom of the box. Ah, yes, there is. Yeah, there is some assembly to do. So we'll see. There is. So basically, they said to remove this before use. So you do have the. I'm going to assemble it because I'm a bit wary in the sense that I'm wondering if, because here is the ship, and as you can see, it's quite flat. But once you add the little bits, I'm not sure it's going to fit in the box anymore. So we're going to find out. That there's a little cardboard bit saying remove before use, and this is probably for the cockpit to fit the, yes, that's to fit the cockpit. And I just hope I can disassemble it to put it back in the box, because that would be annoying if I couldn't put it back in the box afterwards. So let's see how this goes. I mean, it should snap into place. Yes. So here we go. Here is the Supermobile, and it's actually very cool. I have to admit, it's very cool. I do like the fact that they've got a red cockpit. You do have the Superman logo on the side. Of course, on the back you've got the engine, and you do have this this button, and basically if you turn the button, I'm going to put it like that, if you turn the button, basically it actually triggers the punching action, which is actually very, very cool. That is so retro. What is very nice is that for people who are old enough like me, this is a callback to a 1970s toy, which was released by Corgi Toys, and it was this tiny little Supermobile, which was metal and plastic, and it actually had the fists, the punching action. So it's actually very ridiculous that Superman would need such a vehicle, but at the same time it's very fun. We do have what they call, so let's see how that opens. Those are difficult to open. So that's supposed to be a prison cell, but yeah, I'm not quite sure if, yeah, you can't really fit a character in there. I mean, and it's not the cape that's being a problem. It's just that you can't really fit. Yeah, try as it might, as you can see, I mean, it doesn't fit in the length. So that's a bit of a shame that you do have a prison cell. Actually, there's even two of them. You do have two prison cells that you actually can't use because it's too small for the figures. I mean, those are about, the Batman and Superman are the same size, so if Superman doesn't fit, I'm not sure that anyone will fit. Bit of a shame, because otherwise it's a very cool, it's a cool idea. At least you can probably use it to put back some accessories or cape or whatever you want, but not prison cell. I'm sorry to say. And like the Batwing, if you punch that button, let me see. Yeah, that button isn't as, let's see. Yes, it works. So you can actually open the cockpit, and once again inside you do have the seat, which is, of course, is red, and you do have some details and sticker inside. It's more difficult to see because of the canopy that's red. So now let's test if Superman fits. Once again, the cape is a bit problematic. So does it fit? Let's try that. It does fit. It's a very, very tight fit, as you can see, but it does fit in it, which is rather cool. So here we go. That's the, we now have the Batwing and the Supermobile. One thing that I'm going to check immediately is, yes, you can actually disassemble it, which means that it can be put back in the box without a problem, because it doesn't fit in the box if it's fully built. I mean, if you see the box, it actually is bigger than the box. So that's really cool that they actually thought it through and didn't make that mistake, which is nice. So that's the two vehicles, which are very, very cool. They are very fun. I have to admit that they are very, very fun. And they go very well with the figure. And now we've got the last three figures, which are from wave 2 of the superpowers. So we're going to open those, and starting with that character that I really don't like, the Batman Who Laughs, who was this supervillain, very recent supervillain that Batman fans seem to like, but I don't. So I think it's a very strange choice for a retro figure, because that's not a retro character, since it's a new character from something like 5 or 6 years ago. Still very, very nice. I mean, the box is done exactly in the same way as the old superpowers. In the back, of course, you've got the little card, you've got the two ships, and you've got, of course, the continuation of the lineup with the 6 figures now. And now we're going to mint in box, people, look away. We're going to open this and get him out. I mean, I don't like the character, but I have to admit that the figure is actually rather nice. It's really done in the style of the superpowers at the time. It could have been done in the 80s without a problem. Like the previous one, it does have bending legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of articulation. Yes, you can turn his head. Of course, because of the plastic bit here, you can't really sit him easily, but then again, I don't think that supervillain should be sitting in the first place. So that's actually, I don't like, as I said, I don't like the character, definitely, but it's a very, very nice little figure. It works very well as a superpowers character. So that's one. Then we're going to do one which was released at the time. There was a Flash figure, so same thing. I mean, I'm not going to go through the packaging, because to the exception of the name and the image of the character, they are the same packaging. And we're going to open that. So the interesting thing is that, of course, it is the newer version of the Flash. It does have it looks a bit different from the one they had done in the 80s. Of course, the one they had done in the 80s had an action feature. When you were pressing his leg, he was like doing the run, which I thought was very fun. Those have no action feature. It's interesting because this one seems to have slightly softer plastic. It may just be me. So here you go. This is our friend the Flash. It's very cool figure. Again, it's very much in the style of the 80s, and once again you've got 7 point of articulation, and of course it can be seen running. I'm not sure it will stand though. Well, of course, if you put a stand on it, because it's got the little holes under his feet that you can fit most stands now for action figure. It will be able to stand while running, so that's actually a very cool figure. Just showing again. Oops, I'm dropping it. It's very nice. I do find that those are a bit big, but it's okay, it's fine. I mean, it's the new 52 version, let's say. And last but not least, we do have Green Lantern. So Green Lantern, it's interesting that it's the John Stewart version of Green Lantern that they chose. I think it's interesting because, of course, it was one character that existed in the 80s, but mostly at the time it was Al Jordan that was the classic Green Lantern. So in Superpowers collection, you had Green Lantern Al Jordan, but you didn't have Green Lantern John Stewart. So here we go. So that's John Stewart. It's interesting that it's a version with the short hair, because there were times where they showed him bald and times where he had hair. So it's always interesting to see. That's not the animated series version, is what I mean. So it's done very much in the same style. Obviously, he does have his ring on his finger. Is just, yeah, it is actually sculpted, so that's actually pretty cool. And he has one hand which is done so that he can actually hopefully carry. Let me try and do this, because they actually gave him a different set of hands than the others, because of course what you can do is you can have him hold his lantern to recharge. So that's actually a very cool feature. I mean, all of the basic superpowered hands are the fists, as you can see. Let me check. This one has an open hand, but it's actually pretty cool. So, and oops, I don't know what that. So here we go. That's Green Lantern, and that's the third character of the wave that we have here. So this is wave 2 of Superpowers, the collection by McFarlane, with Flash, the Batman Who Laughs, and Green Lantern. And of course those two ships, which are really very cool and very fun. So apart from the big niggle I have with those capes, that line is actually shaping up nicely so far. So hopefully there will be more, and I think I may be getting them too. In the meantime, I will speak to you again soon. Bye.